you could go to tigertracks.isu.edu and sign in the top right corner with your 4x4, and you should be able to log in from there. So I'm going to share my screen here in a couple seconds. You guys should all see this website in here. Obviously, you guys do. This is tigertracks.isu.edu. I'll hide this. There we go. Okay. This is the main page that the client or customer is going to see when they first sign in or search our knowledge base in the service catalog. So home page here is obviously the first thing you'll see when you come out here. Contact information, how to access us, find answers, points right out to the knowledge base, service catalog right here, view your tickets, known service outages, scheduled maintenance, all listed here, popular services, articles, and then provide feedback, as Tony mentioned. Go right there. So I'm going to sign in. All right, signed in here. And nothing really changed. Allow me just to log in and see pages like this. So these all obviously point out to direct links and pages like this. So we'll touch here first on service catalog. Again, you can click there on that link, or you can go straight here to services. Goes to the same page. What you'll find here is 10 categories here. We have deemed as services would fall under and different offerings within Team Dynamics, the product itself. So for instance, accounts and access is one of them. We'll break it down a little bit further to say employee versus student. And you can pick a service from there. Now some of them may not have subcategories, some just may be right on the category level, like Mail Center. Each of these services will have detail inside of them, explaining what it is. Find information on Banner. So Banner Access, for instance, I click on that, provides a list of detail about Banner and what this different service can offer. Also has some tags here at the top as well. You'll find this listed throughout the service catalog and throughout knowledge base as well. Tags are like hashtags of just common hot keywords to search up here as well. So you type it in Banner 8, you would find this service listed in the search results. Again, standard features, who is available to, service audience, responsibilities. Each one will be a little bit different than the other. But all this is based on a breadcrumb trail here. I can click back out, back to the main home page. So computers and printers, for instance, computer setup. It's one commonly used, I've heard, by most resources here in the room. Again, same details we saw a moment ago. Some policies that are embedded by the campus. Backup agreement attached right there so the customer can see that and read that before they submit computer setup. So I won't click on this yet. I'll show you this in a few minutes. But that's essentially a service catalog there based on the breadcrumb trail. Please feel free to dive in and search the various categories here and offer to familiarize yourself with what we have built because you only know what you know. So we have a lot of services out here that were created by the implementation team here at Idaho State to help make the user experience and the client experience easy and seamless to find what they're looking for. Again, I'm going to talk about what the customer will see first, and I'll talk about how they can create a ticket, and that is essentially what is called a form. When the customer signs in here, you'll see ticket requests as to all where their tickets will live. So as Tony mentioned, you guys don't have this capability currently. Capability is now there. So the customer can click on ticket requests. They can see all the tickets that they have submitted in the system. I have 2 of them here that I've created and or made. So you're going to list it here. It's only showing new in process or on hold. We will talk about statuses here later on this afternoon. But for now, that's a snapshot of what the customer will see. They can click into the ticket and see information on it and where it's at. They can also notify the agent as well, the customer can, by going down here and clicking on comment to notify the agent, hey, can I get a status on what's going on, or have additional error. Whatever it may be, direct integration there to contact the agent, and the agent will get notified that you wrote out to them. My favorite is simply you can bookmark services, your favorite, easy access, especially if you need to share out a common one with customers. You can come out here, go to my favorite, and just share the link straight out to them. Recent is my recent search history, ones I looked at in the past. My approvals, an approval process for a step, a workflow step perhaps somewhere down the road, you need to approve. That's where that can be done there. And the last two is services A to Z, kind of a Wikipedia of all the service offerings, alphabetical order. And then search here allows you to simply search on all your services. Any questions on that? Okay. What you will find though is the product is pretty straightforward and direct. It doesn't have any hidden menus anywhere. What you see is what will be presented to you. Oops. So I'm going to click on a popular service here, computer account. And what you'll see here, I'm going to click on request computer account. And this pops up a form, as Debbie mentioned. So this form is very simple. You literally fill out 2 fields and you hit request. So I'm going to fill that out. So I'll select yes for both just to make sure I fully comply. And that was it. The ticket's been created. Now, the results may vary by service what the form has, but most of them may have a description box where the customer can type in what's actually going on, along with other selectable fields like we just saw. Once the ticket is created, you get a ticket ID number, gives you a couple of different offerings at the bottom. You can create another request of the same type. Maybe you're creating one on behalf of someone else. Create 2 of them. You can view what you just made, or you can view all your tickets. So these 2 links actually point out back to this page right here. So I can view the request that I just made. And there it is. And that's the ticket on this side. So the customer experience is really clean, easy access to create tickets, sign in there, and search what they need to get to. Back on the home page, you can also find answers. This points out to the knowledge base, which is this link right here. Again, very similar to what we just saw a couple minutes ago. There's 9 categories here. Different ones based on similar categorization and knowledge. So again, someone provides steps how to access certain things. And links built in to request a service right here, for instance. How to connect to the Wi-Fi, how to do that this morning. One thing to mention about knowledge bases, obviously you work with customers, you want to point them out to here as much as possible. The hope in a perfect world is you point them out to knowledge bases and they get their answer. They don't have to create a ticket. So less tickets, the better, like this. So the team did a great job in putting out a lot of knowledge out here from your current system, other resources to gather what we need to be presented with knowledge base here. So if you do have ideas, future articles, let Robert know. Returning, we can get those out there as well. One thing to point your attention to with the knowledge base is a for internal use section. Most of you will have access to this. I think all of you in the room should. The customer will not have access to this. It's just a permission that we gave for all technicians to have access to this. And there's just articles that are broken down by different sections. There's Int app, ITSM process documentation. Recommend looking over this section as well. Helps kind of steer what we've been doing during our implementation over the past few months. General Tyco tracks information, some scripts. So different things you can use to your advantage there. So just keep an eye out for that second. That's benefit for you guys. Everything else is broken out by a subcategory there. So that is the knowledge. That's knowledge base and services as a whole. My hope and expectation for you guys is to get in here and kind of just search around and get familiar where things are next few days here before Monday. Benefits you. It'll benefit the customer starting next week. A couple of things to note that I pointed out earlier is known service outages. So nothing at this time. Again, these tickets were either created in testing or not. And scheduled maintenance, same thing. So, and here's to provide feedback link. Very simple. Put in your feedback experience about the website. Hit request. Now we'll go to Tony. So you're probably wondering how to get to your side of the world, to the agent side. That can go to your name here in the top. And the last link here is called TD Next. It'll pop up a new tab for you. This is the side that you'll be seeing the most. What we'll do after the session today is I'll have Robert email a direct link to this so you have an access to it and you can bookmark it. Also have access to targettracks.isu.edu is a way to get into it too. Or for you guys, at least having the direct route will help bypass people have knowledge to the other place as well. All right, so once we've got into TD Next here, and you'll know it by the URL, will specify where you're at. Most of you should have a desktop on the page when you first sign in. If not, that's fine. Robert will assign one to you. We're also going to create one this afternoon as well. So a desktop, essentially kind of a central hub, home page for you to land on when you first sign in. If you see here, it's a wide variety of tickets, searches, reports, based on different classifications and stuff that I set up here. So to create a new desktop, you can have as many as you want. You make something that's specific to you or your team. So again, this is the layout here. I'm going to pick the second one. Now I have 3 columns. This will give you a snapshot of what it will look like. Again, these are different available content here I have on my far left column. ITS ticketing is what we'll be working in and what you guys will be working in the most with tickets. There's a couple of different reports that were made here by your peers. So you can just drag and drop this into a column. If you don't like it, just click the X and it'll come back out. So I'm going to throw this in column 1 perhaps. Maybe I'll throw top 5 services, stack it on top. And then I'll come down to my work. We'll talk about the My Work application here later on this afternoon. But for now, I'm going to throw in my assignments. Simply, that's anything that's assigned to you or a group you're a part of. And I'm going on here to tickets, lastly. And I'm going to throw my on-hold tickets right here. Maybe I'll throw in that chart you saw back here a moment ago. I'll throw that on here too, right here. And you can stack as many as you want per column, but gives you an idea of what it could look like. I'll save my changes, my content. My details page allows me to re-edit the name and the description to describe it. I can hit save. Some of you may see this button set as default. Again, I mentioned you can have as many desktops as you want. If you set one as your default, that's the first one you'll see when you sign in. So right now, the one I have set up is a standard technician one. I'll just leave that be. I'll hit save. I'll close out. And I'll hit the refresh button right here. The difference here, this will refresh my desktop, not refresh the entire website. And there's my desktop here now. There's stuff I made. There's my top 5 service offerings. There's my assignments. No on-hold tickets currently. That's okay. There's my open tickets chart. All these can be draggable. These can move around. Now this is at the top of the page. You can close out this. You can add it back later. All these are customizable for you and your experience. Again, like I mentioned, you had one assigned to you, but you can create your own. We'll look at reports later on, so you can create a report that tickets assigned to your group specifically. And you can edit the desktop. As long as you're on the one that you're in, you can click on edit and make any modifications. Again, if you have multiple here from a drop-down list, then click on the gear here to manage my desktops. And that simply allows me to maybe change the default on one, delete ones I don't need anymore. You always at least will have one desktop in the system, which is why you only see delete on one of them. When I'm done, click the back arrow out to my main desktop page. As we look at reporting and a few other things here in a few minutes, come back this afternoon after our time is up and create a desktop. Just go through that process of dragging, putting things in, and have a view, something personal to you or your team. All right. So again, this is the landing page when you first sign in. A couple things about kind of the look and feel of TD Next as a whole. I'll refer to it as TD Next this afternoon. I know it's TaggedTracks. We're referring to TaggedTracks as this page right here specifically. I'll refer to this side. The agent side is TD Next. First things first, your profile here. There's my name. I can go to my profile and I can set up a image of myself so people know who you are. Right now, we'll have your initials here instead. You click on my profile and click on edit. You can drop an image in there. Don't put pictures of cats. You might get offended. They don't like cats, or dogs, whatever. But put a picture of yourself up there. Grab it from your ID or LinkedIn. That's fine. It can be kind of a little bit of Facebookish here because some profile views who's viewed your profile in the last 30 days or so, and obviously your sign-up components right here. One thing I will say about the profile, we update the records every night. So whatever you put in here might get wiped if it doesn't match what's in the records. So keep that in mind. So just be cautious. One thing I just say to do in here, put your picture in here and hit save and call it a day. If you do get married or change your name somewhere down the road, we can address that at that time and update your record where it's coming from the source. I'm going to reflect it in here. Let me do the daily people refresh. This checkbox here is a to-do list. Now I have things to do here. Mark that as done. This is nice to have because if you're working on tickets, you need to come back to it later. Just create a quick to-do, like look at ticket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's always be there, and there'll be another spot as well in the My Work application, which we'll take a look at later on. One other page you'll get used to here this afternoon is this applications menu, waffle, tile, whatever you want to call it, in the top left corner. By name is applications menu. You'll see a listing of all the applications you would have access to. Mine might be a little bit different than yours, but for the most part, though, it should mirror what you have. Ones you'll be using the most is ITS tickets. That's the floppy disk image. Knowledge base is a direct link out to the knowledge base. My work, we'll look at that, like I said, later on. Services, and then time and expense, you might have access to that too. Then our help page. But for now, we'll click on ITS ticketing. So when you first get into the ticketing application, you'll notice a couple things. One, it popped up like a browser tab, like you see up here. If you were to sign out and sign back in, that tab would still stay, so you don't lose your place. You can close it and come back over here and find it again, and it'll launch back up. These tabs are draggable as well. So again, you'll see the word desktop again. This is a ticketing desktop, so it's specific to you, so no one can assign you one. You can just create your own and have information pertaining to yourself. Reports, maybe for you or you and your group. This ticket's been assigned to you. You can also have searches here. We'll take a look at searches here in a couple of minutes. What gives you a good snapshot of stuff pertaining just to yourself, a little more personal. First, we'll take a look down some of this information here on this left-hand column. Then we'll work our way across the top. So again, this is desktop, same layouts we saw over here, and you can configure it, edit your layout, and notice only thing you see here is ITS ticketing. So a lot of reports here, some other information as well. The next section here is called groups. This is exactly what it is. It's all of the groups we have put together in the system based on the team that you're a part of. ITS All Technicians is most of you guys, 122 I think in here. More specifically, ITS Customer Service and Support. So you guys should find yourself in this list here. Then you guys are Enterprise Apps, so there's a group for you as well. But I do want to point out though a couple things. This is great to get an idea of who's in each group. If you don't know, good place to look and find out, especially if you're assigning a ticket to a particular person, you can find out what group they're a part of. Or vice versa, if you're assigning it to a group, you know who's in that respective group. A couple of things about this groups page that is nice to benefit from. Click on Adam's profile here. Get a quick snapshot of his email address, work number if he has one. Currently he is fresh out. But a couple of different offerings here. You can see a feed. You'll see the word feed a lot here this afternoon. That's essentially a trail of updates, status changes on a trail of things going on within the system on tickets or Team Dynamics, the product as a whole. You also get an idea of what the representative is working on. So if you were to assign a ticket, let's say to Adam, and he had 5 tickets he's working on, they want to check with him first before you assign a ticket to him. Make sure he's able to take it on or contact one of his peers, make sure that's good to go. Assignments, these are things that have been assigned to this individual. Maybe they're working on it, maybe they're not, but they're assigned to them. And lastly is accomplishments, things that this person has completed over a time frame. So just a quick snapshot of each person who's in a group. There. Next under groups is tickets. Again, if you click on the bold word tickets, it's going to show all open, new, on hold, or in process tickets here. Right now we have 17 in the system. And some of these are test tickets, some of them are not. So most of them should be test tickets though we have in here. Down underneath here we have some queues that are specific to you, assigned to me. One ticket that I'm assigned to at the moment. Waiting my review. Nothing in now. Waiting my approval. Nothing for myself at the moment. Waiting approval. These are things awaiting approval of you and your peers. Separately, that's one above. There's awaiting approval overall for certain things. Then we have separate folders for incidents, changes, and service requests. So some of this language may be a little bit different for you guys. Difference between most of the tickets you'll be working with are an incident or a service request. The biggest difference between the two is an incident is a break fix. Something's broken, and you guys will help to fix that. That's an incident. A service request is a service or something you guys are providing, whether it has a fee or not, that's per service. But it's something simply that the school offers and provides to its clientele. There's nothing wrong with it, they just need something, like a new student badge. That's a service request. A mouse is broken, that's an incident. So you'll see that pop up with tickets. The customer won't really know the difference between service and request. They're just going to know I need something, and I'm going to click a button to fill out a form and hit submit. But you guys will see this is a service request, excuse me, this is an incident. So back up here on tickets, top, you'll see again the list of 17 or so tickets in the system. Before we dive into actually creating a ticket, we'll walk through some of these green actions here at the top to give you a visual what you can do when you have tickets in the system like we have currently. We'll start here with the searching part. So you can search for a ticket here at the top by an ID number, which is this value right here, or you can search ahead. So you can type in a word like TigerTrax. There's a ticket, and this ticket has information to it pertaining to TigerTrax. So that's a nice, says quick search. You're trying to find a ticket. And then the next part of searching, to our point, is filter results. That breaks it down a bit further. This box represents these two boxes right here. And you can reflect the max results and your page size as well, how many you may see. This gives you an idea to search from a couple of different fields. The requester is the individual who is requesting the said service. The account department is what they are associated with on campus. If it's a student, account department is most likely going to be a student. For you guys, it's either enterprise apps, information technology services, human resources for other people. It's the group you're part of on campus. The value of ticket type or ticket types, multiple ticket types. The value of a ticket type is simply a categorization of what type of ticket the customer has requested or you personally have created. It's tied into the actual service offering itself. And you'll see it listed on the ticket, and I'll point out that value to you in a couple of minutes. The other piece here is statuses as well. Again, by default, we just have these 6 statuses checked off. If you're looking for all closed tickets, come in here, simply just uncheck the rest of them and check closed. You can see what tickets are actually closed in the system. Forms. We'll look at forms here in a few minutes as well. Form is essentially what you will fill out as an agent or the customer will fill out in the client portal TigerTracks. And you'll see the list of, we have 23 forms here. And we do specify whether it's service request, incident, or change. And they're pretty well noted, specify what each one does. And then you can also filter on responsibility of a ticket as well. And the reviewing party, again, you'll see this word reviewer. That is simply a person or a group who's just reviewing this type of ticket. So not working it ever, they just have eyes on the ticket. They may be notified that this type of ticket came in. They're just aware of it. You can filter on different priority, impact, or urgency. You can filter on date frames. On hold, in the future, assets, requester information. And also, you'll see the word attributes being thrown around a lot too within Team Dynamics. Attributes are custom fields. So these are all CAN fields, standard fields. These are your custom fields, stuff that we made here when building out Team Dynamics. So if I click on AppSys Projects, I can now specify, show me all tickets in which someone picked Banner 9. You can add another filter as well. So a lot of different offerings you can pick from here between standard and custom. If I want to run my search, I would just simply hit apply. I'm not going to this time. There you go. If you ever want to get out of the results or out of your searching, start fresh, just click on tickets again, refresh the page, come back in. So I'm going to type in myself here as a requester. And I'll hit reply. So I have 2 tickets in which I'm the requester requesting these 2 services. What I can do, what you guys can do as well when you start getting live and getting into it, is you can save a search here. So I'm going to save this as Williams tickets. I have an offering here to check global or not check global. What that allows me to do is I can share the search with y'all, or I can just keep it to myself. Maybe you wanted to see a list of tickets that you need to close at the end of the day. But for now, I'll make it global so you guys can all see it. And if you would just click refresh here, and then go to my searches, you should see it right here at the bottom. You can create as many searches as you want. You can also edit your searches too. Only really edit is to delete it and you can create a new one. It allows you to at least delete your former searches. Then come back on the tickets here and come back out. One thing to note with the searches too, again, I made the search kind of the broad big tickets level. I want to break it down, maybe just search for all service requests. I can do that here too. So the search will only show for service requests, not just the whole bubble of tickets. For now, we'll work on this main page here. So again, I have 17 tickets here. I'm going to check these top two and show you a couple different things with this. Again, maybe you have a search, and I'll choose to search here tickets I made. It's a little bit easier for you. So I can check the box, mark everything in the column, right? I can individually check. It's only two. I'll just save one click. You can go to actions, and I can bulk do stuff on tickets. So I can comment on a ticket. I can bulk update a ticket. So right now, both of these tickets, our status is new. I can bulk assign. So for instance, maybe you're going on PTO next week and a half, whatever. You can, if you need to assign a certain amount of tickets to a colleague, you can bulk assign them in one foul swoop. You can put a note in there while you're assigning them, and then just don't tell them. You can create a change request from this. You can associate a KB article as well. And you can associate tags to tickets too. So a lot of cool stuff you can do. One thing I really think is awesome is you could basically have all your tickets you know you're done with. You're going to close it at the end of the day. Check them off. Go to actions and update and close them all at the same time. Saves a ton of steps, a ton of open windows. Just do it all in a couple seconds. So I'm going to uncheck this here. Any questions on the green actions part here in searching? All right. So now let's take a look at creating a ticket and what that process will look like for you guys. Show of hands, or you can answer out loud in the classroom. How often people come into your office and ask for something? Pretty often, okay. Most people phone in, give or take, good balance, okay. Well, we'll walk through the process of creating a ticket if someone walks in the office or they call. A couple things here. There's a new button here. Again, I mentioned incident, change, and service request. There's a couple different forms here. Password reset was one we picked as a kind of popular one people would have. And the one down here in service request, a computer setup form. So this afternoon, we'll take a look at computer setup form. Again, this one here is a default. This will quickly take you out to a service request form. The difference here is this points you out right to the computer setup form. A service request form pops up. As you mentioned, we saw that ticket a few minutes ago. We made it in the client portal. I only had 2 fields. We'll have a lot more than 2 here, depending on what the form has to offer. One thing to point your attention to here is though I picked the service request form, this pops up. I actually don't need that form. I need something else, perhaps. So I can come in here from this drop-down, and I can choose from a list of different offerings, the forms here I have in the system. They're all listed A to Z order here. So there's my computer account form I mentioned a few minutes ago, or computer setup, excuse me. So many ways to get to it. There's a traditional service request form listed here. And I will pick computer account form. Notice when I do so, some of the fields populated in for me. Save some time. Then you just go through and you answer these questions. Nope, you have a red star. They're required to fill in. The requester is, again, the person here at the bottom, and the service and the type of ticket associated with it right down here. One thing to note, too, let's say you started off by clicking on service request form, and you started filling in fields here, and you realize, oh, that's something else they have, actually. It is JMP software form. If you click reset, it'll reset the values that pertain to the JMP software form. It will hold on. It will, if you don't hit reset, basically pin the values you already typed in and keep it on top of the JMP form. If you hit reset, that'll refresh the values associated to the JPM form. So just keep that in mind when creating a new ticket this way. Everything is driven off the form itself. So I'm going to come back over here to New and Computer Setup Form. And you can just follow along with me here now. We'll take some time here in a few minutes after talking through a ticket and turn it over to you guys to create your own ticket. Just kind of follow on with me here for a couple minutes, and then we'll give you guys a chance to create a ticket in the system, answer any questions you have about the process. A couple of things here with the requester. Again, just pulls 5 names here in the system. They're maybe familiar, been playing in with it. A couple of things. You can type it in by their email address to find the requester. Maybe guys ask them for their Bengal ID. You can do that as well. It'll pull in their name. So mine is 000208123. There's my name. So you can also do that as well. If you ask for them for that, instead of finding their name, list of 36,000 people, just ask for Bengal ID. So, a couple of things here. When I pick the requester, see the name, quick snapshot of who they are, contact information. What you also will find is very helpful, perhaps, is recently requested tickets by the individual. So you can see how often they've submitted tickets, how many in the last 30 days. You have a chance to view other tickets too. But this gives you a quick snapshot of what's going on. They are submitting a lot of tickets. You may want to find out why. It's always helpful to know. Again, you had the option here to notify the requester. I'm not going to notify myself. Send me an email. I have plenty. But there it is. Other number devices. This is just account tag numbers. It'll specify in this help text there what you need. So there. Other information I want to put in, I can. It's not required. Special instructions. Location. Location's pretty cool. I can, no, actually, what's the name of this building, Tony?
EA, Business Administration.
Business Admin. And I can pick a room as well. There's the hallway right outside the door. And they're responsible here. To note that this box is checked at the bottom. Responsible, it can be a person or a group you can put down as a responsible resource for this type of service. Best practice is to notify them, make them aware they have a ticket assigned to them. If not, they'll probably sit out there. So I will pick someone, Robert, and won't notify him.
Oh no, are those responsible people limited based on the kind of request?
One thing to mention too, I can type ahead, as you saw, as a drop-down list. I can also search too. Which will pop out another window there. So you can actually search here and then click on their name, and now Armando is in charge. And other fields are here at the bottom too. So I'm going to go ahead and hit save, create my ticket. It'll generate a ticket ID number for me. A note here, as I mentioned, is incident versus service request. We classify this service request, so specified here the ticket ID number, 488-3136. I can create another one. I can view the one that I just made. Review the one that I just made here. So again, account department, that's what I'm associated with here on campus. Put myself down as other. There's my ticket type. Again, the type, this is the kind of classification of the type of ticket I'm creating, or was created, excuse me. It's end user computing. With the category and the type of ticket is a PC setup. And that should closely line up with the service itself. There's a location, whom created it, and whom is responsible. And other fields to have on the ticket too. So all that form I filled out all lives here. So we're going to talk through a ticket, then we'll turn it over to you guys for about 5 minutes or so, create a ticket on your own. We'll move forward. So again, follow along with me, please, during this process so you can understand kind of the piece of the ticket, and you feel free to create your own. A couple things here to point your attention to is the comment and update page at the bottom of the ticket. Again, I mentioned the word feed earlier. There it is again. The feed is simply an audit trail of comments, notes, changes on the ticket, updates that you make. By default, we set this box as private comment. What that means is the customer cannot see it. So you can have internal notes between your peers or the resources. Be careful what you say. The managers can look at this too. So keep that in mind. But by default, you always will have the responsible party, the group associated with the individual, and the requester. You also will have the creator listed. But since I'm the creator and the requester, it has me there once. So I don't have to notify anyone every single time. I can just put a comment on that ticket and set to private. I can also notify someone as well, get an email there too. You can comment on the sub-comment, on my original comment here. You can like it like a Facebook thing or hit more. You can mark it as public. To be meant to make it public and not private, you can just check the box right here. A couple things done here. Move comment. If you made a mistake and put it on the wrong ticket, you can move it to another ticket in the system. You can also create a new ticket too. I'm sure you've gotten before from customers, hey, I have another 5 more questions for you. That's a new ticket. This one's closed. You can take that text and create a new ticket out of it or on the fly. So the other part of the comment feed here is I can add people to it. If I need to add a resource on this ticket, add a contact on it. So I can add Tony. Here's a contact now on the ticket. What that means is I can send him something on the general tab over here, and it specifies that I added him as a ticket or added him as a contact. And I can go here and send the email to Tony. And he will now get emailed. Now what can happen, which is a nice feature that we have, is you can reply back to this and it'll pin back to the feed here. So I send an email to Tony. He opens up his Gmail, writes back hi, hits send. It'll stamp back the reply in the same feed here, in this same section. Not a new one, but the same one here. So you can have a comment thread going back and forth via email, which is nice, especially if you're on the go or across campus, you're not near a computer. Unless you have a smartphone, have email on it, you can check that way too. That's one thing too. There it is. There we go. So notes right here at the bottom. Here. And the update page is right here too. You can update a ticket, or you can also update it from the action page. One thing to point out too, and you're welcome to come to the ticket now and open it up, is this number has changed. So a couple of you guys are in the ticket right now, and I can see who's viewing it. This is helpful to know, especially if you want to make an edit to the ticket. You can see who's editing the ticket, and this color will turn from blue to red, like that. One thing to note about edits, just be cautious of the fields you're editing. If they do have defaults on them, it'll revert back to the default wherever you edit. And one thing to point out too, if your 2 people are editing at the same time, last person wins. So just be careful about that as well. So if you are editing, contact your peer. If you're nearby, let them know I'm also editing this ticket. Stand by for 30 seconds. And the editing is just simply this button right here.
There's no edit line.
Sorry?
There's no edit line.
There is. Yeah, it'll append on the feed. So if I change no to yes, push instructions from that to here, I can hit save. Maybe find out more information. Working with the customer, you want to dictate that back to detail. Specify what I changed. Edit. But all it means, he could be just looking at it. He just clicked on edit. That's really what that means. It doesn't say what he's editing until Brandon would hit save. Again, all of this is private. It means the customer won't see it. which is probably best. You don't want the customer to see the changes that you made. And so by default, any edits are private. So again, there's an update button right down here. There's an update button here. I'll click on this one here. Update allows you to do a couple different things. By the way, you can edit and update at the same time because you're doing two different things. So keep that in mind as well. And it still reflects who's looking at the ticket too. The update part of a ticket is you're changing the status from new to in process or open, wherever the status might look like. You can do that. One thing to point out here too is the on hold or awaiting customer response status. One thing to note here, it has a couple of different features, two of them actually. The first one, you can set it goes off hold. You can set a time and date, it'll go off hold. Let's say 7 days out, you're waiting for the customer, you don't hear back. What it'll do if you set a time, say tomorrow at midnight, it'll send you an email to you as the technician. It'll say tickets were reverted back to the last status that it was in. In this case, it might be new. It'll go back off hold. You don't put a time here, it'll just stay on hold until you want to change it back. You're waiting customer response until you change it back. The other part to it is that if you put it on hold, and let's say no date frame is set here, the customer can respond back to the ticket and that'll revert the status back to what it once was. So it was on hold and it was in process, it'll revert back to the in process status from the technician. In this case, I'll change the status to in process. A couple things as well, you always have to do a comment on here if you are updating the ticket, whether that be just changing the status. Let's put IP for in process. I don't have to notify anyone. It will top up a little warning message saying, hey, you made a note in here. Do you want to keep it private? In this case, sure. And I can just hit save. And it'll change the status here in the corner. It will also stamp on the feed what I just did. Everything's a note on the update page. I can send an email to the customer here too by notifying them here. They notify other people. Go on this button, it'll put in everyone who's on the ticket, the contact, requester, and all that. You notify other people in the system. And lastly, other email addresses. Maybe that's a vendor or distribution list email, someone not in Team Dynamics, so you make them aware of what's going on. Attachment 6.5 megs is the max for this from the update component. You can link an article to the ticket as well by doing an existing article. You can type ahead or search for one. One thing to note here too, if you do create a new article, cautious of this for a couple of reasons. One, the title of your new article that you create is the title of the ticket. The body of your article that you make is whatever you place here. So just be cautious of that when hitting that button. Best practice is you don't have an article, let someone know, let someone else create it. Or B, find an existing article in the system. Again, I can hit search as well and look for it too. So I'll go ahead and hit save here. Oops. Add a KB. There's my knowledge-based article here. I changed it from nothing to something. Instructions, and I added the knowledge base here. So that's the update part of the ticket. Most of the stuff we done typically is statuses and notifying the individual. A couple other things here too. You can do from actions. You can generate a BOMGAR session. So if you guys use BOMGAR, it'll you have to sign in with your BOMGAR credentials, and it'll start a session. One thing it will do with the ticket itself, when you're done with the session and you close out, it'll take your transcript and save it as a ticket as a XML file, and it'll append on the feed your session ID number as well. So note you had a BOMGAR session, and the attachment is attached to the ticket with your transcript in there. Couple of things too, if you need to reassign the ticket to someone, maybe you are working the ticket, you need to reassign it to a peer. By clicking this button here, you can type in the individual or the group who it needs to go to. And you can notify them and leave instructions for them. Perhaps you need to send it over to someone else. If we do not put someone in here, this will be unassigned. So keep that in mind as well. I created a report, and I'll show you in a few minutes about unassigned tickets in the system. So that's the reassign component of it. All right, moving across here from actions, add. You can add an attachment on here. Wherever you add here, the customer can see as well. So the max is 50 megabytes per attachment. That'll live right underneath here. You can add a task, which is simply just something you're telling someone or a group to do. You're still responsible for the ticket, but maybe you assigned a task to Robert to do something. And he'll get notified, and he'll get the task, and he'll complete it and update you on it, and he'll close it out when he's done. Or a task template is a predefined set of tasks that are done each time a service is performed. So for instance, the service would be a office move. You may have a set of 5 predefined tasks perhaps that need to get done, and they'll go to different groups or people to do. So again, you can pick a template on the fly here. It's already been defined. If you need one defined, let Robert know. He'll be glad to set up one for you. Or a task, you can create it. Predecessor, if you have, let's say you have 2 of them, the first one must be done before the second one can be assigned to someone else. You could set up that too. Give a time frame, how long it's going to take perhaps, and whom is responsible, and the steps to do the task right here. So there's the current activity, the task on the ticket now. So Tony's in charge of fixing the mouse. I want it due by 3:22 p.m. And he could, yes, and he could come in here and update this to update his percentage of fixing that mouse, put notes on it. He can also mark it as complete. I have a little bit different permission where I can delete the task. You may not have that permission, but I have the permission to delete the task as well. Maybe I made it by mistake. But we'll also stamp on the feed as well. And each, there you go. And it's gone now. And it actually will live over here in task and activities too, that it was done. A couple other things to point out. Again, people, contacts, you can delete contacts on tickets as well. Tony's still on here as a resource because I assigned him something to do on the ticket. My alerts, maybe you're tracking a ticket on behalf of someone, or you want to keep an eye on a certain ticket that was submitted. You can come in here to My Alerts and set up an alert for this. So you get notified when the ticket is in process or ticket is due or ticket is completed. It's because to keep you aware of what's going on. And lastly is the read by section. The client won't see this, but you will. And TD next. This is just simply when the record was first opened by you, when it was last opened by you. So you can say, oh, did you look at the ticket? Nope. Yeah, you did. 157 and 224. It doesn't say what you did. You just let it open the record. It would say what you did on the feed, though, if you did any changes. And there it's stamped, I removed Tony as a contact on the ticket. Those online, Robert was pointing out the group specifications. Keep an eye on who you're assigning to. If you are assigning to a group of mass quantity like IT All Techs, you can drill down by groups and hit search, and you get an idea of each group listing here to find more specific group to you. So maybe Health IT is a little bit smaller on the group that's pertaining to you. There's a lot of Enter Apps groups here too. So keep an eye out for that. You can click View to find out who's in the group too. Again, that's under reassigning server request. Click on the magnifying glass here to drill down. And I filter on radio button for groups. I hit that. If you're coming across, you're not finding someone, you maybe you're looking for someone, click on both and click on both and hit search. And I'll pull up the full listing of users and ticketing here. That's including groups here too. Any questions from anyone on a ticket, comments, feed, actions, anything like that? Emailing and creating a ticket. T-Dynamics does generate a ticket from an email. It'll try to match on the email address coming in to find the person in the system. If it does not find the person, it'll just have a dummy profile that gets made for them. You can try to match them up and change the requester by editing on the ticket as well. We go to plus report. In a ticket report, I can create a report of pretty much anything in the system I want to based on tickets. I can create a ticket of all tickets that are unassigned perhaps, or tickets created today, let's say. So down here I have columns I want to see. Again, we throw them in defaults here. You don't have to have all of these actually. I don't want modified, viewer, or start date. These all can be dragged up and down. You can add more. You can change the value in these as well. So I'm going to put created because that's what I want to see. And I can add an aggregate there to say week year. Now I want to filter and say created today. Simple as that. One thing to note too, you may have other ones down the road, create less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. It's kind of blocking that's less than, greater than, equal to. If you do choose one of these variables here in terms of a date frame, probably best practice is to click the prompt button here on the far right. My screen resolution doesn't show it, but it's a prompt button right here. And what it'll allow me to do is it'll pop up to show the date frame if you want to see it. It can be broken down by minutes, hours, days, weeks, month, or year. But for simplicity's sake, I'll pick today. One thing to note as well, you could have multiple filters. The default thinking of the filtering is an AND operator. So if it's created today or created and created by someone else, I can do that too. If you want it to be advanced, you can click on advanced. And I can do 1 or 2, and that's referring to the numbering here. So the example a little bit here, you can use a Boolean of and or listed there. But for simplicity's sake, I'm just going to do that. I can order it by ticket ID, perhaps. Max rows, I can do 500 or 5,000 or 50,000, does not matter. Might be helpful, maybe you're creating a report of the top 10 requested services. Show me top 10. Visibility, by default, it'll point to just me. That means that no one else can see your report. Me and everyone in the application, that's everyone in the ticketing application, that'll be you guys, or people in these groups. If you have a report that's specific to your group only, you select the last radio button here, and you would pick the said group which you want to share that with. I can add a chart if I wanted to, with it'll populate an X and Y variable here. I can also add this on my desktop as well, like I mentioned earlier, beginning of our time today. You can add reports to desktops. So grid, think of it like in Excel. It's just columns of data. We'll look here in a second. A chart is the chart feature here. You can also email reports out too, so you have something you need to send to a peer or manager once a week. You can add that down here at the bottom. Daily, weekly, or monthly. You can send a report out. Excel, HTML, or PDF format. You can click on the recipients. Here you go to send out to. I'll go ahead and hit save and run and look at tickets created today. So 35 tickets created today. Busy day today. We do see unassigned. A couple reasons. It's the primary responsible individual. If it's a group, it's not going to show. It's showing assigned, or it literally is unassigned. You can filter down to show unassigned equals false or true to narrow down the number there. We'll look at this one though, for instance. It's literally unassigned. Same thing with this one. I go on actions and edit, and I can share this with everyone in the application. And now you will see it over here listed in our ticket reports if you refresh the page. So tickets created today, you guys should have that now. And I can also put it on my desktop as well here, or my desktop right here. And my searches we made earlier that I share with you guys too, you can take your search as well and put it on your desktop too. And that's all current live information. It does not automatically refresh. You will have to refresh the page itself to see the current information going on. So pop up here like a tab, drag it if I want to. So my work as a page is designed for you. It's intended to kind of keep things decluttered from the rest of the tickets that are coming in. For instance, if you look at this list will get bigger and bigger and bigger. This is just stuff pertaining to you. My approvals or anything waiting approval for you. Assignments, anything that's been assigned to you. So again, I have 2 tickets right here that are assigned to me. Quick snapshot of the ticket number, requester is, no data information listed there. A couple of things with this though, I can add a comment on the ticket right here on the fly. I can update the ticket on the fly, or I can add time. We're not tracking time at this current time, but that feature is there. My work, click on that, that number goes down, this number goes up. My work is things you're actively working on. My assignments is things that's been assigned to you. You can take stuff out of my work and put it back over to my assignments. Whenever you're done for the day, you got to pick it back up tomorrow morning, wherever that might look like for you. But it's simply just a cue to keep everything pertaining to you right there under my work, things you're actively doing. You can move them from top to bottom based on their priority and importance. There's my 2 tasks up here. That's where they live. Mark that as complete, mark that as complete. Now I have one thing. There's the ticket. Again, I can take it back here, and it'll go back over here to my assignments. My accomplishments is things that I've done, like those 2 tasks. I'm on the clock. It's on Eastern time zone in my profile, so that's why it's 4:43. And I can look at it by date frame to see everything I've done this week, last week, this month, or custom date frame. Whether it gives you an idea, a personal touch of showing stuff you've done or have stuff pertaining to you. It can be cumbersome to be in here sometimes and try to find a ticket or trying to find your particular work. Thankfully, there's a folder here assigned to me to pull in everything easily access. My work is always a nice thing to have as well. A feed, remember feed earlier? This literally shows everything going on in the system. In terms of ticketing. Changes on tickets, everything going on. So I don't look at this personally because it's a lot going on. You can probably get the gist too. There's a ton going on. But you have a calendar as well that pulls up in the calendar app. You can set up an event as well. Maybe you need to make a reminder to talk to someone about a ticket. You can do that here too. The question was asked how to delete a report. You go to ticket reports. You can click on it here and you can find the report and you can click the delete button. You can only delete reports in which you're the owner of. And a report that lists all my reports. I can only delete tickets in which I am the owner of. I cannot delete Robert's tickets. Yep. Another way to delete reports, if I go back into it, go to actions and show details. I can click delete there too. This brings up a good point. If you find a report that you like and you're not the owner of it, you can go into it, like Robert's report here, go to actions, make a copy of it. So you can get it without having to do too much modification. You can have your own version of it. All right. So that is an overview of the life in the day of a technician in TD Next. It's a lot, an hour and 46 minutes. But I hope that you got a good understanding. I'm not expecting you all to be experts by the end of the day. I'm expecting you at least understand it, how to log in, how it functions. So we looked at the TigerTrax environment, again, over here. Walk through service catalog and knowledge base, how to access those. Again, hot direct links here, or click on here. Searching as well here. To access TD Next, again, click on your name, and TD Next pops up. We'll take a look at ticketing, how to create a ticket, how to search for tickets, how to run reports on tickets, how to update and move a ticket from beginning to end as well. The same place we saw to actions updated tickets where you also close a ticket out too. So note that. We also took a look at the My Work application as well. So we'll take a look at the ticket that I have here. It's new. I can go to update and I can close out the ticket. All right. Thank you guys for your time and cooperation this afternoon and attention. Really appreciate it.